If you do have a noisy background, I'm going to ask you to mute yourself because, like I said, we're going to fly through some things here. All right, I am going to share my screen just for a little bit with you. I don't want to kill you with PowerPoint, but I do want to share some things with you. So welcome, everyone. My name is Brigitte Höfele. You don't need to remember how to say it or spell it, and most of you know me anyway. But today we are talking about biology, but guess what? A totally different biology. By a show of hands, and I'd really love to see your faces, how many of you, or just shout out and take yourself off of mute, by a show of hands or by saying yay, how many of you communicate?
Hey.
Hey.
Hi, Brigitte.
Right? Every one of us communicates. James, thanks for raising your hand. I appreciate it. And we communicate on our own level. So before I go into that, it really makes, hey, it's great to see your face. But before we go into that, I want to see a show of hands. How many of you have ever heard of bank? Show of hands or yay?
Yay.
1, 2. Okay.
Yay.
All right. Yay! And James raised his hand again. Thank you so much for doing that. But before we go into any of that, because, you know, this claim that I have here on the screen right now, increase your sales up to 300%, that's a pretty darn big claim. And we're going to go into that here in a second. But first, I want to tell you really quick, if you have never met me, and you might have stalked me on Facebook and maybe not, and if you haven't, I invite you to do that for many reasons. But I'm Brigitte Höfele. Like I said, you don't need to remember how to spell it or sound it out. I have come to the United States in 2004 to found a Montessori school. I have just recently, in May of 2016, sold said school and kept 30% of passive income in that. So they want to, of course, keep me on, and I want to stay and be part of that Montessori community for many reasons. It's one of my babies. I'm also fast track trainer and lead coach at New Peaks, which is now Success Resources America. I'm a NLP master. And by a show of hands or by saying yay, how many of you know what NLP is?
Yay.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yay.
Yay. Okay. I'm also the very, very proud mother and the very proud wife of an incredible family. My children, Amelie and Anna, and my husband, Christian, who are both, all three of them, in Germany right now. And they're coming back tomorrow, so celebrate with me. Yay! I can't wait. I haven't seen my children in 2.5 months. They've gone to Montessori school over there.
Wow.
And I cannot wait to hug them and smell them and kiss them and never let them go again. And I guess I'll have to do that at one point. I'm also award-winning Montessori principal and directress. You do have a noisy background. I ask you to mute yourself. Directress meaning teacher. That's the Montessori way of saying teacher, because we direct the child, we don't teach upon the child. And this is really what I'm doing today with all of you. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be interactive. Like I said, I'm not going to kill you with PowerPoints here, but I do want to go through some things with you. Where is that noise coming from? If you know it's coming from you, will you please mute yourself? Thank you. All right. So, but this is not about me. This is really about who? You guys. It is, you know, this is an old Time magazine cover, and I love it. I think it's from 2006, but it's all about you. The person that has the integrity, the person that is excited, the person that is inspired, the person that is knowledgeable. You have all of that. So let's go into that really quick. And I want to go through some housekeeping really quick as well. If you have one of these, I think we all have one of these. Some are smart, some are dumb. Most of them are smart now. A phone. Please put it on silent, or even better, put it on airplane mode. I just did mine. So go ahead and do that. You know where your bathrooms are, but I'm going to ask you to hold it till the end. And we have an incredible surprise at the end of this webinar. And this is going to be a 1-hour webinar. And around 50 minutes in, we're going to have a surprise. And I just need to find that person that is not muted because I'm hearing my echo for whatever reason. All right. We're going to have a surprise later on. Yes, there will be a call to action, but that's not the surprise. You'll see the surprise. So anyway, we're going to go into what is your communication and how can you make it even better. And as I said, there's a big claim here: increase your sales up to 300% by becoming a master of the biology. Hey guys, good to see all of you. I see Andrew driving in the car over there. You know, Robert Kiyosaki said it really, really well. The ability to sell is the #1 skill in business. If you do not know how to sell, and to put this really broad, no one wants to be sold, but everyone wants to buy. But on a daily basis, we are consciously or subconsciously selling. I'm selling my children on the idea that they want to come home from Germany where they're having an incredible time. I am selling my husband the idea that it's great for him to do laundry once in a while, which he does a great job with that anyway. We sell ideas, we sell on a constant basis, and it's up to you to become a master in communicating that. Here are the numbers. 67% miss quota. 87% of people are not adequately prepared. They didn't do their research, they didn't do their creativity, and 66% are turned off by presentations. This is by the Salesforce.com Altify. These are real numbers, and we have been told that sales is a numbers game. In order to get one yes, you need to have a lot of no's. Well, let me just tell you, you were lied at. Because in order, it just makes logic sense. You know, turn on your, whatever this mass is between your ears, brain. In order to get more yeses, you need more yeses. In order for me to get more wine, I need to buy more wine. I mean, it's just logic, right? So it's not a numbers game. Here's another statistic by WOMA.org. The best salesperson outsells the average salesperson 57 to 1. 57 to 1. Hello, that is not a numbers game. Because does the best salesperson work 57 to 1 more hours? Or generate 57 to 1 more leads? Or see 57 to 1 more people? Or get 57 to 1 more no's? I'm going to challenge that. So I'm going to stop sharing here for a moment. So this, can everyone see this? Nod or say yay? Yeah. So someone take themselves off mute and tell me what this is.
A cryptex.
It's a cryptex. And the cryptex comes from the fun movie and the very interesting movie, The Da Vinci Code. And the idea of the cryptex is that there is the Holy Grail written inside the cryptex, and you need to have the exact formula to dial in on this cryptex, because if you don't dial it in the correct code, then guess what? The vinegar will be released inside and the Holy Grail message will be gone forever. Now, how many of you feel like that you kind of had some vinegar spilled on your clients and on some prospects and on people that you talk to? I'm guilty. I'm here. I am so guilty. So to give you the golden tongue, You need to master this code. That's a good secret. How do I do that, you say? Hold on, let me go back to my sharing the screen. So I'm going to tell you it is not a numbers game, but it is a, hold on, wait for it. It's a people's game. It's simply a people's game. Let me go full screen here again. Hold on. There we go. Well, and now it starts from the beginning. I apologize. Maybe I will not take myself off. So bear with me here just a second. Okay. So we have it's a people's game. And when we can contribute to the communication that we have with people, then guess what? We're in business. All business is a people's business, as Brian Tracy says it. Now, let me ask you this. Do you think it is possible for one idea to change the world? Someone go off mute and give me one idea that drastically changed the world.
The iPhone.
The iPhone. What else?
The telephone.
The telephone.
A little bit earlier.
Yeah, the telephone came first, then the iPhone, and then, yeah?
Electricity.
Electricity. What about the game changer of Uber changed the entire game of the taxi industry, of transportation? Airbnb was one idea that gave the hotels a run for their money. So it takes one idea, and the idea here is bank. Bank is a personality-based, people-focused, profit-driven methodology. And this lovely lady, Sherry Tree, she's the founder and the CEO of Bank. She's a multiple seven-figure income earner, author of this methodology, and author of an upcoming book very, very soon, an award-winning international authority. She's the founder and CEO, but she's really the medium because something much, much greater flew through her. And she kind of had to establish this methodology for herself because she was in sales and she made $700 in a year. Now, all of us have been somewhere in business at some point, and I hope that you made more than $700, but her pain was great. And she went from 700 to 72,000 in 5 years, and she knew something had to give. That was before Bank. After Bank, she went into a 695% growth and is now way over a million, but went into 1,388% in 3 years. That's large. Sherry speaks on stages around the world, and that's really where we met. I met Sherry about 1.5 or so years ago, and I loved how she talked to people. I loved her charisma. I loved the way she presented herself, and the methodology of her idea was just absolutely incredible. She plugs into Robert Kiyosaki's brilliance on a regular basis. I mean, she's here right beside Sir Richard Branson to his left. She has presented at the Harvard Extension Wellness Club at Harvard University, and she told me, that was the time when my parents said, wow, what is it that you're doing? So she suddenly became legitimate. She also was invited by University of California, Berkeley, and San Francisco State University conducted an independent study on Bank and how it predicts buying behavior, get this, within 90 seconds. How, you say? That's what I said. How can you predict how someone is buying within 90 seconds? I said, that's not possible. Albert Einstein said, any fool can complicate things, but it takes a genius to simplify it. And I'm going to say this genius behind the science and the science behind the genius is Cherry Tree and Bank. So there are 4 personality types, and that is nothing new. You know, it goes back to Hippocrates many centuries ago that developed the 4 personality types. Here in Bank, it's blueprint, action, knowledge, and nurturing, and we're going to go into that in just a little bit. But he really, Hippocrates called them the 4 temperaments, and based his medical practice on that. You might know of DISC or Myers-Briggs or the animals or the color codes. You know, it's basically the same. Bank is basically the same, only completely different. And here's why. We have these 4 personality types within us. And in which personality type do we usually talk in? So I'm gonna, you know, there are 4 personality types, and in Bank they're based on values. And what a shock! And we're gonna go through this here in a second. But I'm a big action. My dominant code is action. So I'm in your face, you know, right now, lots of energy. My mother always said, "Dear God, I mean, Brigitte, just can you tone it down just a little bit?" But here's how I communicate, because I communicate in my own predominant code. So I communicate from an action point of view. Now, my husband's a knowledge, and he needs to know all the facts. And I'm like, ready, fire, aim. Let's do it. You know, I see something and I'm like, let's go for it. And he's like, oh, wait, but I need to read the fine print. And we're communicating on 2 completely different levels. And how many of you have done that with your client over and over and over again? Let me tell you a quick story. This morning, very early, way too early, I got woken up by this boom, boom, boom. And I'm thinking, what is that noise? Until I figured out there was a bird flying against my window. I had the shades up, and the bird was trying to fly into the house. And over and over and over, this bird is trying to get in through the window, just constantly flying against the window. I mean, eventually I think it must have just fallen on the ground because it flew against the window at least 20 times. How often are you communicating with your clients and you're like this bird just flying against the window, and you think you're doing a great job and you want to get through, but you're not getting through and you don't know why? Because you are communicating in your predominant code, and your client or whoever you're communicating with is communicating in their predominant code. So eventually what might happen is when you get so fed up constantly flying against this window, you tell yourself, I'm a failure. I can't do this. I can't sell. I cannot get my client or get my spouse or get my children on board because I'm no good at this. I'm not good at playing this selling game. And again, no one wants to be sold. Everyone wants to buy. So how do you crack the personality code and take it to the bank? We talked about the Da Vinci Code and this wonderful cryptex. And like I said, wouldn't it be nice, you know, if you would talk to a person that's all full of piss and vinegar, but you start to understand them, where they're coming from, and not seeking to be understood, but bringing your knowledge and your alignment to them, bringing understanding to them, and not demanding that you're being understood. You know, I read a really cool quote this morning, and it said, communication's door opens from the inside out. It actually said happiness, but I'd take it for communication, because it starts with who? It starts with me. So talking to the person. Tony Robbins said, let your prospect determine your presentation. So what does that mean? It means that we only, as I said earlier, right now, if you are not aware how you're communicating, you are communicating in your dominant, predominant code. So in my case, it's an action. So if I present to all of you and I present to you only in action, if you follow and go back to the recording afterwards, you're going to see that we addressed all 4 codes throughout this entire presentation. So if I would only communicate with you in 1 code and not in all 4, I would miss how many percent of all of you? I would miss 75%, because 25 is A, 25 is B, blueprint, 25 is nurture, and 25 is knowledge. So there's a 1 to 4 chance that you deliver the right script, but there's a 3 to 4 chance that you are not delivering the right script. So I'm going to give you here, I hope you have something to write on and write with, because I'd like for you to fill in this formula by yourself. So you put in, write down, you put in your current income. So if your current income in this case is $72,000, this is your current income, and you multiply it by 3, you have an extra income of $216,000. Now, I hope you can all follow this formula. Why by 3? Because I can already communicate in my predominant code, but I'm leaving the other 3 out. So how can I get full coverage, full buy-in from everyone that I'm communicating to? So therefore, I'm multiplying by 3. And then I'm going to go by the number of years remaining in sales. So just to make it simple, I put 20 years here. So I make another 216,000 extra income, and I'm going to multiply it by 20 because it'll be 20 years more in sales. That is a number that is so large that I want to puke. So if you have not, I'm going to let this sit here for a second. I'd really like for you to let that sink in and for you to put in your current income multiplied by 3, see the extra income, do the math. How many more years are you in sales? And then multiplied by that many years and see how much money are you leaving on the table. Major ouch. Or you can turn it around and make a decision, make a choice in your life. I want to make that. I don't want to leave that on the table. So I gave you the awareness first of what's out there, that there's this biology of bank out there, this methodology. Now I'm giving you a choice. Are you continuing to communicate one-dimensionally, or are you going to communicate on all 4 codes and take it to the bank? So therefore, there is a 300% increase when you master the science of communication, negotiation, and then closing more, because that's really all there is. And the closing starts when? At the very beginning of the communication that you have with your client. I have a lot of coaches here on this call. So my coaches out there, you know, fellow coaches, love you guys. But one thing that I have seen over and over as I coach coaches, they don't want to sell because they're predominantly nurturers, and nurturers are like, I don't want to sell, not my thing, you know, I just want to give. And that's great, but we can't have abundance coaches out there that are not abundant. So please, you know, understand where you're coming from and understand that you are doing your client a disservice if you are not helping them understand of how to communicate, if you don't understand how to communicate. So the first is the awareness. Second is the choice that you are making down the road. All right, let's go into blueprint. Let's do the fun part. So there are 12 values, and some of you might already seen these cards. I actually pulled them out in Chattanooga the other day, where I live, in Haiti, who's on this webinar, and I were there, and a few others. And I pulled out this card, and the lady who did the mastermind and the network that day, she jumped up and down and she said, I saw Sherry at E-Network, even when Network in California. And she was so excited that I brought these cards, and she was backing us up like crazy. It was insane. Anyway, that's a side note. All right, so blueprint. And if you have not cracked your own code yet, which on the webinar event Facebook page, you have the little link where you can crack your own code. Go ahead and do that afterwards. Don't do that now. But as we're going through these values, you probably see some of this as you move forward. So values are stability, structure, systems, planning, processes, predictability, responsibility, duty, rules, credentials, titles, and tradition. That's the values of bank. Now, when you look at other personality types that are also, divided into 4 personality types, they are not based on values. This is very, very unique to this. And especially, again, for my coaches, but for everyone on this call, it's so necessary to understand what your customer, what your client, what your spouse, whoever you're talking to, values. And when you truly care about what they value, you can serve them a great deal. The blueprint, they like to shake hands, very formal. This guy is a financial advisor, and he was very, very skeptical, as blueprints are usually skeptical. But he followed the step-by-step system and closed 100% of his next 8 clients. This gave him a track record that he could bank on. So this is he made $50,000 in under 90 days. All right, action. These are the guys that are like skyrocketing out of the box. The blueprints are, they are in your box, very structured. The actions are just like ready, fire, aim, let's go. They value freedom, flexibility, spontaneity, action, opportunity, excitement, attention, stimulation, competition, winning, fun, and image. If you see someone wearing a Hermes belt or a Burberry scarf, they're probably action. Their greeting is, high five me. Everyone high five right here in the camera. High five me. That is their greeting. And I don't even know if I can pronounce her name because, you know me, I'm German, and I'm going to have a hard time pronouncing her last name. I'm going to try it. Yancy unequivocally. I guess that was right. Was that right, Dale? Did I do that right? Okay, thanks. She's so action. She had her last name changed. This is not her birth name. She had it changed, and she's the only person with that last name. I'm going to say Brigitte Höfele there are not that many Brigitte Höfeles out there. Anyway, she says, bank is a total game changer. Using this simple and fun system allowed me to crush my sales and left me all the way to the bank. She made $250,000 in 18 months. Now the nurturers. Namaste. The nurturers value relationships, authenticity, personal growth, significance, teamwork, involvement, community, charity, ethics, harmony, morality, and contribution. And nurturers love to hug. They're touchy-feely. They're kinesthetics for all of my NLPs out there. They want to give. They will give their last t-shirt, jacket, whatever it might be. This lady, Nancy Gomez, she, big nurturer, was in network marketing, probably still is today, and all she did was give. But she says, bank changed my life, it helped me in business, and it also improved my personal relationships with my friends and family. Bank is priceless. She made $32,000 in 1 week. And my knowledge people need to have, they engineered that box. They made sure that it was to the millimeter. And I'm pretty sure that knowledge people know what millimeters are. To the millimeter, they have engineered that box. So knowledge people value learning, intelligence, logic, self-mastery, technology, research and development, science, universal truths, expertise, competence, accuracy, and the big picture. And this is their greeting. No, just kidding. It could be. But I could see myself doing that too. But they actually are like more of a, okay, don't touch me, no hugging, definitely not hugging, just, you know, business cards, nice to meet you, and off I am. Some of you might know Yoram. I know Yoram from Peaks and Marshall Weeder's world, and I met him here as well. He is a big knowledge person, and he says, bank gave me a quantum leap, alone that word is a very knowledge word, advantage in business from every other program I've studied. This course is an absolute no-brainer. Made 30,000 in 15 minutes. So, you know, going through these codes, you probably now said, oh, that's me. That's exactly me. That's exactly what I value. Wonderful. Now, do understand that there are 24 different bank codes. So you have a 4% chance of really getting to the person that you are talking to in the moment. So if you're in a presentation and you only are coming from your predominant code, you only have a 4% chance. However, you can crack your prospect's code within 90 seconds or less. And it's with these cards, as I mentioned earlier. And it's really simple. These cards, you can, when you meet with someone, you say, hey, will you do me a favor? Will you read these values on these cards and order them, put the one that resonates most with you at the very top, and then the one that resonates second and third and fourth. That will help me understand and serve you better. And everyone that I have done this with ever since I laid hands on these cards, and Sherry actually gave me a set of these cards many months ago, they all love it. Why? People love to talk about themselves. And they're like, oh yeah, no, that's not me at all. Oh yeah. So when you have these and you go into a presentation, it's simple. Now you don't even have to guess in which modality or which code that they are operating in. Now it's very simple. Now I can tone, if I'm talking to a knowledge person, I can tone down my action and know that this person needs to have the big picture and they need to have all the facts that I can possibly give them. I know now also how to follow up with them. So Darren, whose last name I'm not going to even try, Darren actually went into a presentation to a board of a IT company, and he had, because it's an IT company, he had an entire presentation, PowerPoint presentation, that was so knowledge-based with all the facts and all the nitty-gritty details. And he sat in front of, and he came into this boardroom, and he asked everyone around the boardroom table, hey, will you do me a favor? Let's play a game. And he described what they're going to do. And the board members laid out their cards, and he noticed that predominantly, or the dominant color in the entire boardroom was nurturer. So he closed his laptop. He made a conscious decision of, I'm not going to bore them with the knowledge presentation that I have prepared. I am going to speak to them from a nurturer point of view with all of the nurturing values that there are and close the deal. 250,000 in one negotiation. Now, let me tell you this. I hope you get this. He would have left that on the table. He would have so spoken over them, it would have not even been funny. So anyway, kudos to Darren. So for all of you, usually I do this in front of a room, but we have a webinar today. So there's a limited opportunity today. I'm gonna give you your set of cards, one set of cards, one blueprint, one action, one knowledge, and one nurturer, one set of cards by $25 PayPal. And all you need to do, I need you to text bank cards to this telephone number, 423-303-8432. I'm going to leave that here for a second so you can write that down. Just text me bank cards at 423-303-8432 with your full name, your address, and your email. So I need your full name, address, and email in the same text. And I will send you for $25 your set of cards. If you are close to me, if you're in Cleveland or if you're in Chattanooga, I will hand deliver them to you. To all of my Tennessee peeps out there. So again, text bank cards to 423-303-8432. Need your full name, your address, and your email address so I can send you a PayPal invoice. We usually have here a 1 minute. We don't need that right now. All right, so we have an incredible technology. And when I say incredible technology, as a lead coach and assistant trainer for the largest self-development company in the world, I've seen some home study courses and some. This incredible virtual training, I've never seen anything like it. Not as long as I've been a teacher, not as long as I've been in marketing. I have never seen anything so profound and so individualized as this. So crack your code in 90 seconds or less with the bank. It's mybankcode.com/Höfele. So you can go there. As I said, I have that in the Facebook webinar page. You can go there, put in your email address, your phone number, and you will crack your code there. You will then get an email that says, this is your bank code. And if you do this with your client, it will send an email to your client saying, this is your bank code. And it will send an email to you saying, this is your client's bank code. And this is how you're going to communicate with your client. Look, I have been looking for this, I don't know, these special glasses or a cape, you know, whatever, the superpower to read how I best communicate with the person that sits across from me. This makes it pretty simple. So the results are sent to you. This is this is what the online dashboard looks like. So you see exactly, you know, what the email is, which code they are, and it makes my follow-up so much easier. So if I have an opportunity, if you will, I can send out an action written email to all of my action folks in my back office. I can generate a report. It's really simple. Or I can, you know, send out my white paper to all of my knowledge folks. So it's very individualized, very straightforward. You can take bank into any industry. It is not just for teachers. It is not just for sales. It is not just for realtors. It's not just for the car industry. It's not just for speakers or coaches. You name it, you need it. Having this information will give you, as Sherry says, the golden tongue. Because now you understand where you're coming from. It gives you the awareness, where am I coming from? And how can I communicate to the person that's across from me? So the industries are, there is no limit. It's not just to one or two or three specific industries. So why bank? This guy. How many of you know him? By a show of hands or yay? How many of you know him? Les Brown.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Les Brown
Yeah.
is an incredible motivational speaker, and he says bank is a game changer for every entrepreneur and sales professional. The system will strengthen your confidence, expand your selling skills, and dramatically increase your income. If you do not know who Les Brown is, I highly recommend that you Google him and follow him wherever, on whichever social media network you are, because he's just absolutely incredible. And his story is incredible. Just give you one word. I'll give you one sentence. The teacher said that he was retarded. I'm going to leave it at that. So here's the solution. Bank Code virtual training. There are different avenues that you can go. You can go with the core, that is a $1,497. You can go with the pro, that is a $8,997 value. Or you can go with the platinum subscription that has the power scripting, it has a sales velocity, it has the millionaire map, it has the core and the pro subscription, it has the coin networking mastery, it has the sales velocity, I already said that. It has so much value that I even have a hard time wrapping my head around that. The power scripting. Power scripting is that you know how to script in all 4 codes. Power scripting formulas, the 48 bank code reports. So each blueprint has not just blueprint, we all have all of the other codes within us somehow. Some are more kind of evened out, and some are like, yeah, that's me, and forget the other 3. That's not really true. Anyway, so the coin, as I said, the Center of Influence Networking, the sales velocity, incredible information, the millionaire map. And let me just tell you, these are just subtitles that I'm showing you right now. Just in the millionaire map, there are 13 courses, and each course goes so deep that it's really, really hard for you to really grasp of how profound and deep this program goes. Power calls, the VIP event ticket, the platinum is a $19,997 value. Then we have the enterprise, which that is for our larger organizations. But today, there's a core virtual training for $1,497. There is the pro virtual training for $8,997, and there's the platinum for $19,997. And I want to encourage you, and all of my coaches on this call know, if you think the cost of education is expensive, try the cost of ignorance. And I know we have some teachers on here as well. So the cost of your training, there's an incredible return on investment, and you are going to take it to the bank, because the core virtual training is $497. The pro virtual training is $997, and the platinum virtual training is $1997. And I'm just going to say the core and the pro is included in the platinum. But wait, there's more. Just kidding. There are no knives or anything like that. So there's speed coding, so you know who you're talking to as you're talking to them, as you're listening to them, as you are asking them quality questions. Again, my coaches know exactly what that means. I will throw in 2 tickets for that for $5,988, but I'm going to stop right here. There are more opportunities here, and for all of my action guys, that was a hint. I would love to do more on this with you. If Zoom works with you, I would like to keep the text message going, or you can go on Facebook, on the Facebook event, and talk to me there. If you want to do a fundamentals here on Zoom for 2 days, we can do that. If you are in Atlanta and want to do a fundamentals training there, you want to learn more, I can do that. If you are living on the West Coast and you want to learn more there, I can do that. You just need to communicate with me. But since we are a webinar and I have people from basically around the world, I have Mexico, I know I have some Germans on here, definitely United States and Canada, I want to make sure that I take good care of you wherever you are. So let me know how I can serve you best. What is it that you became aware of within this webinar? And where are you, so we can plug you in. And you know, if there are 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 20 people saying, hey, let's do a fundamental on Zoom for 2 days. I just recently did an event for 3 days on Zoom, full days. We have breakout sessions, we have interaction. I promise I'm going to make it fun and very interactive if we do it on Zoom, as we do it in person as well. So just talk to me. Let me know what works best for you. So the platinum is $1,997. There's a 100% guarantee back. Let's see, we're around the world. We're in 40 countries. We are looking for trainers. Many of you know me as assistant trainer for Peaks. I've been training on other stages. I've been running events. You know, there are some opportunities. They're not a whole lot. I'm going to ask you just to talk to me. And I told you that there was going to be a surprise, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen now so I can, let's see, bear with me here just a sec, where I can stop screen sharing. There I am. But I promise you that there will be a surprise after I am done, and I want to thank you for just hanging out there with me. I tried to go back and forth with the presentation, and it would bring me back to the very first PowerPoints. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to bore you with flipping through PowerPoints. But we have a very special person on here. But before I let her come off mute, I just want to say, look, guys, if you want to follow me, I'd love for you to follow me. If you want to do more in your business, I'll run with you. I'll coach you. I'm committed to you. But without further ado, I'm going to ask Sherry to come off mute. And I'd love for everyone else to come off mute and say, hi, Sherry.
Hi, Sherry.
Hi.
Hi, Sherry.
Hi.
Hey, Sherry, thanks so much for coming on. I feel honored and happy that you're here with us. So thank you so much.
Yeah, you know what? I'm so excited to be here. First of all, this was absolutely my favorite presentation in the world because I didn't do it, and I got to hear some great jokes. I mean, I've been listening for a little while because I was driving on my phone and had my phone plugged in, connected to the Zoom meeting, and I got to watch you do your whole presentation. And the story of the bird crashing into the window, that was a perfect analogy that the universe gave you. Hopefully the little birdie's okay, but as entrepreneurs, people crack their skull against this attempt of sales, and there's this invisible wall that happens to be between them and the customer, or them and the money, that they just can't seem to penetrate through, and they chalk it up to the numbers game. And anyway, I just want to congratulate you for assembling such a great group of people and inviting me to be out here, and I want to say hello to everybody. I'm more than happy to open it up for some quick questions. If any of you have questions that are on your mind about the bank system or how it could apply to you, or if you're trying to consider between, should I invest, first of all, should I even invest in myself? And I'm going to say yes every single time. And then there's the question of which program should I do? And I'm going to tell you that our top package, which is the $1,997 package, outsells the other ones 10 to 1. And the irony is that it's more expensive than the other ones, but the value that you get, and there's a philosophy out there in business that says price is only an issue in the absence of value. And people ask me all the time, what does it cost to study the bank program? And what I'll tell them is that the cost of not studying it is the amount of money you lose every single time you get a no. And you have to start asking yourself, what's the face value of a no? You know, it's not just money that you lost today because you failed to close the sale, but it's the money that you lost on the lifetime value of the customer every single time they come back to you, or could have or would have come back to you and didn't. And then it's the value of their entire referral network. And how I learned this lesson was, I had a client, I was selling financial services, and you know, he didn't buy on the first or second appointment. And you know, sometimes I'm an action personality type, just like Brigitte. We get impatient, and you know, we want yeses faster. That's why I invented the system. Time is money. And finally, this guy called me up and said, Sherry, let's meet for lunch. I've reviewed the contracts. I'm ready to sign. Bring the paperwork, and we'll do business over lunch. And so I was so excited because in my mind, I was already pre-spending my commissions. I was a commission-only financial advisor. And I showed up to the restaurant, and I got there 10 minutes late. Now, I don't try to be late, but sometimes life happens, and I apologize for being late because I'm not a jerk. And I'll never forget this because it happened like it was in slow motion. I reached down into my bag to pull out the paperwork to hand it to him because he requested that I bring it to lunch. And as soon as I went to hand it to him, his hands went up like this, and he said, Sherry, wait. I just want to let you know I no longer want to do business with you. And I mean, I was just in shock. I didn't even know what to do. And as I stood there staring at him, he points to his watch and he said, because you were late, 10 minutes. He goes, you disrespected my time. And if this is how you treat me before you have my money, imagine how I think I'll be treated once you have it. And that was a deal breaker. There was no going back. There was nothing I could say at that point to get another attempt to close the sale. And now I had wasted countless hours on the beginning through all of the marketing and all of the pre-appointments to even try to win his business. And then I lost it because of 10 minutes. And when you connect the dots back, what I've been studying for 20 years is the exact science of what makes or breaks the sale and connecting it back to their buying code or their bank code. So what bank has done and what you're investing in is 20 years of blood, sweat, and tears of figuring out every single reason why customers say no and why they say yes, and how do you continue to deliver the right presentation 100% of the time. You know, in a fantasy world, bank will help you close 100% of your sales. And of course, that's just a fantasy. That's not reality. But we do have clients in the bank community that have called themselves serial closers, where they maybe close 5, 10, 15, or 20 sales in a row without a no. That's pretty awesome. But bank was designed to help you deliver the right presentation 100% of the time. And that presentation can come in the form of an actual sales presentation, a webinar like Brigitte is doing. It could come in the form of how you answered the phone call or how you respond on an email message. You're constantly communicating and presenting to your customer, and one wrong move can cost you everything. So I'm happy to take questions. That's the reason I invented it, and it works. And it works consistently every single time because it's based in science. You know, when Brigitte asked the question, or maybe, I don't know if you did, I missed part of the beginning, is selling an art or a science? A lot of times people say selling is an art. There's books out there written that's called Master the Art of Sales. And this is a chicken and egg scenario. Which comes first? If selling is both an art and a science, which one actually comes first? Does anyone know?
The art.
Science.
Okay, so we have mixed poll reviews. If you choose art without choosing science first, the type of art it looks like is the spaghetti noodles against the wall and your 3-year-old taping the picture to the refrigerator. Okay, that's what art, that's what sales looks like in art form without science. The science actually has to come first. So what I'm going to do with the bank system is give you a paint by numbers grid where literally I will teach you exactly what to say play by play and day by day with this system. And when you have that, you can create art like Picasso because you're using the science of how to communicate with other people. So that's kind of the concept. But what questions do you have that I could answer for you for my short little time period here?
Didi had a question. She had her hand raised. Do you want to take yourself off mute, Didi?
Hi,
Hey,
how you doing?
great. How are you? Great to see you.
I really wanted, I'll explore a little bit more on the website, but I actually teach personality dimensions in the corporate environment for relationship building, team building, all that sort of thing. I've never thought about using it in the sales world, and it's brilliant. So I was just looking at my brochure because I have a course coming up. So I wanted to know, like, does it go beyond sales into relationships at all with what you currently have? So is it a blend of kind of what the other programs are, or is it just strongly focused on sales?
Yeah, well, thank you. Great question, and congratulations on your background too. That's awesome. Of course, the focus of our company originated out of sales and wanting to figure out who the buyer was that was in front of me and seeing if I could connect the dots on buying behavior. But anytime you use personality science, it transcends that one particular application. And in this case, you know, we did develop a secondary course out of just simply sheer demand from our own client base, because we started having customers coming back, taking our sales courses and saying, hey, this saved my marriage.
Right.
You know, this made me a better parent. This makes me a better person. I have a relationship with my sibling that I haven't had in decades. And I had someone the other day call it the language of the soul. You know, when you learn the science of how to communicate with another human being and you apply that in sales, or you apply that in your relationship or in dating or in parenting or any of the above, you can alter the experience. And I get asked the question all the time that says, what's the difference between bank and DISC, or bank and NBTI, or bank and the color code, or all of them that are out there, because there's a lot of great personality profiling tools and assessments and things that are out there. What I'll do, my response is that I'll hold up, you know, the one they're asking about, like DISC, D-I-S-C. I'll say, you can take bank, B-A-N-K, and you can put them together. And my response is that they are the exact same thing, only completely different.
Yeah.
And what makes it completely different, if someone's looking for, like, what's the difference between bank and DISC or those other ones, my reply is going to be, most of those instruments are based in psychology, and bank is based in biology, spelled B-U-Y, right? The science of buying behavior. That was the number one thing. And then, of course, it's like the tip of the iceberg. It goes deeper than that. But buying decisions are made constantly. When you talk to your spouse about where you're going to go on vacation, or where your kids are going to go to college, or whether or not they need to eat their vegetables, everything is a buying decision. It just doesn't have to be a product or service, if that makes a little bit of sense.
Yeah, it does very much so. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
If I could speak up just for 1 second. Hey, Sherry, how you doing?
Hi,
I
Jonathan.
good to see you again. I took Sherry's course in New Jersey here, I think last August. And the potential that I saw within the course was, as she just said, I mean, everything, it's not even just sales, like really, it'll help you, because you can make this your own. You can, you know, take the information that she's given you and use that as a set point to build better relationships with the people that you love and the people that you are around all the time. And there's just the application, as that one person said, it's like the language of the soul. The application of this program is just like, you know, I think limitless.
And Jonathan, thank you for saying that. And you crushed it at the live training. You just did an outstanding job for such a young guy. What I love about bank is we made it so simple that you don't have to be the rocket scientist who studies a degree in psychology to get it. This is something that literally you can learn and apply and start getting results within 24 hours. And again, that was part of why I created it. Was I needed something that worked fast, and it worked yesterday, right? Good questions. What other questions do you have?
I have a hand up from James, but I know he raised his hand earlier. I don't know if that still applies or not, that raised hand. James, do you just want to speak up real quick and tell me if that was a question or if that was the raised hand from earlier? Maybe not. Nope, then I guess it doesn't. I think it was from earlier. All right, any other questions? I mean, this is a great time to ask them. And like I said, if you have any questions, if you want to do a one-on-one with me next week, text me. You have my telephone number. I'm going to give it to you one more time, 423-303-8432, 423-303-8432. You're welcome to text me. Let me know about the cards. Let me know about the one-on-one and how I can be of service to you and what you want to do. I encourage you to write down one thing that you learned today after we hang up, or if it resonates with you right now, do it right now, and follow up on it and see how we can help you get to that goal or get to whatever resonated with you if you don't have it completely yet.
I'd love to add just a few last quick things.
Yes.
You know, and I saw your comment, Deidre, if that's how I say your name, not sure, on the chat box, using it in a coaching application. And what I think you'll find is that you're going to love it, because this is going to give you an assessment ability in less than 90 seconds, which is much faster. The way that we use our assessment tool, BankPass, the digital technology, is it's $29.95 per month, unlimited use. Whereas most assessments cost you anywhere between $19 and $79 per assessment. Here, for $1 a day, you can use it unlimited. You can crack 10 codes a day or 10,000 codes a day. Our system doesn't care, and you get all of that data. I have a woman on the line that's watching this right now, my business partner, Esther Wildenberg, if you see her picture there. She used this technology, cracked the codes of the people that she was emailing in her email list, modified her promotion that she sent out to her list to pull in all 4 communication styles into her offer. And in 24 hours, she got $35,000 in additional revenue over any other promotion she'd ever done, similar to that, by simply altering what was in the email promotion based on 4 codes. So what Bank essentially does is it's going to allow you, for the first time in your life, to be multilingual, and not in a foreign language, but in the language of the human race. So when you learn to speak blueprint, action, nurturing, and knowledge, you can communicate to any customer or any person in that language so much faster. Everything is much smoother. And without it, you know, what most of our clients say is, where have you been my whole life? You know, I could have used this 10 years ago or 20 years ago or during my first marriage, or, you know, whatever. But what I'd love to see, for those of you that are on video feeds, by show of hands, how many of you think this is pretty cool and that you'd love to apply the Bank methodology in your current business or your current life? Is that of value to you? Awesome. Then the special that Brigitte has offered, where it substantially discounts our offer, there's normally a $99 activation fee when you sign up for the virtual training. And the reason that the virtual training is so powerful is because this is my ability. I'm the one who trains you in VT. When you go to a live training, you get trained by the amazing Brigitte. When you do the virtual training, I'm going to train you. This is like Jackie Chan training you. And I'm going to train you 24/7, 365, even if it's a little 10-minute daily dose, or if you study it every single week. I'm going to get you better and better at communicating, negotiating, and closing sales. And that's why we came out with the VT, because there's no way I could fly all over the world every single day and train amazing people like you. So if you make the buying decision and you want to move forward, I'm authorizing Brigitte to waive the $99 activation fee today. And that's, you know, a penny saved is a penny earned. So that will save you the $99. And then the offer that she's offering is above and beyond what the company is doing. The company is going to give you 30 days of BankPass at no additional charge with either of the packages, the $497 Core, the $997 Pro, or the $1997 Platinum. I'm going to give you 30 days of unlimited BankPass use. You can go and crack as many codes as you want. After that, it's $29.95 a month, so $1 a day. You can cancel it at any time if you don't get the value out of it, but our clients love what it does for them and how they collect that data on their database. And then the offer that Brigitte is doing is completely out of the generosity of her investing in you. this is a webinar for her most important people. And to be able to get a ticket to a live event, to have this learned, I can tell you that if you want to come train with me, it costs thousands and thousands of dollars to come to some of our live event training. To have her throw that in for anybody who gets platinum, that is an amazing, very generous bonus, Brigitte. So I just want to say thanks for being that type of a trainer. Brigitte is absolutely one of my favorites. And for those of you that this resonates with, there is a back-end opportunity behind it. Brigitte talked lightly about it, but for the right people on here, what I'll just mention to you is I brought this product to market in 2010. And by 2012, we had our client base practically lighting their pitchforks on fire or their bows and arrows and shooting them at our corporate offices, begging for the opportunity to resell it and to get certified to teach it. And after hearing that for about 6 months, we ended up realizing that, you know, the best way that we could share this with the world is through people like you. And if this resonates with you, there's a very powerful back end side where you can open this up and expose it to people in your network. And also becoming a certified potential trainer. So a consultant is like a reseller. You can do a webinar. You can promote this to some of the key people that you have. We're expanding and looking for help like that. And also on the training side, because I just can't be in more than one place at a time. Right now, we've got about 150 licensed and certified trainers around the world. By comparison, I used to work for Franklin Covey with Stephen Covey. He came out with his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and that company grew to 45,000 certified trainers. So you can kind of do the math on the growth of our company and where we're potentially going to head. And I'm launching and releasing my first book to the market this coming summer. So there's a pretty cool timing window of the world does not know about bank right now. And within 6 months, the world is going to know about bank. And there's going to be a pretty amazing financial ride for the right people that want to align with us. So get with Brigitte. I've asked her to be someone who helps us to screen potential candidates for our company. And she can kind of put you through some of those first few hoops to jump through to see if it's a right fit for you. But Brigitte, I just want to say, I want to turn this back over to you. I've got to run to my next appointment. Thank you so much for inviting me to your webinar. It was great to meet all of you and to see some of your familiar faces again. And I wish you all the best. And I hope that you take it to the bank.
Thanks, Sherry.
Thanks, Sherry. Thank you.
So much.
Okay.
Listen, thank you for being on, Sherry and Esther and Jenny. Thank you guys for your support. I thank all of you for staying longer, actually 9 minutes over for this webinar. And again, I'd love to hear from you. You know, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Bring it on, because I can only grow, and that's what I teach. It's what I teach my children. It's what I teach in my school. I want to leave you with one last quote. There are 4 types of people you want to surround yourself with. The one with integrity, the excited, the inspired, and the knowledgeable. Thank you, everyone, for being on. Love you guys, and can't wait to hear from you. Thanks, everyone. Ciao.
Ciao.